Okay, this talk is called Special Relativity Ether. As I pointed out in such talks as special relativity, relationship between Newton physics and Einstein, I have pointed out that Einstein's special relativity paper of 1905 has been mistranslated into English from German, and that leads me to different mathematics than what is taught. Thus, from my perspective, the whole of modern physics has been built upon a misunderstanding of relativity. This is horrifying to discover, because the building process that physicists have been engaged in is to keep adding more mistakes on to their initial mistakes. Disentangling this mountain of mistakes is a massive and difficult task. In this talk, I will look at how they messed up dealing with ether. And ether can be spelt in two ways, with the A or without the A. Ether, spelled A-E-T-H-E-R, is an older spelling of the word, and this is meant to be the medium for electromagnetic waves, rather than any other use the word ether can be used for, such as in chemistry. One of the problems with special relativity is that the goalposts keep moving. As per Wikipedia, it explains that moving the goalposts is a fallacy. In the case of special relativity, the theory keeps changing from how it's initially presented. The moving goalpost has made a big mess on the ether issue. Starting from 1905, roughly the work on special relativity is as follows. Einstein 1905 published his paper on special relativity called On the Electrodynamics of Moving Bodies. In 1908, Minkowski proposes space-time, and that gives Minkowski's space-time, which is eventually accepted by Einstein. So the moving goalpost here is the incorporation of Minkowski's space-time that was not initially in Einstein's theory in 1905. In 1905, Einstein says in his paper, the introduction of a luminescence ether will prove to be superfluous, and that's usually interpreted as discarding the ether by the mainstream. I think part of the reason he is saying that is just because he's thinking of light as a particle instead of light as a wave in a medium. His photoelectric paper of 1905, being Einstein, is treating light as a particle, and is seemingly treating light as a particle again in his special relativity paper. So he thinks a particle theory of light and discards the wave theory of light. And with discarding the wave theory of light, he thinks he can discard the medium for light, which is called ether. Quantum mechanics comes later in the 1920s, and it is wave-particle duality. And then the quantum particle becomes a particle with wave properties. So on the quantum mechanics side of things, have particle theory of light and a wave theory of light. Wave theory brings back medium for those waves, and medium is the particles, and that's a particulate medium. If we go to Minkowski spacetime, this is what is usually presented. It's a four-dimensional manifold created by Minkowski. It has 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. So Einstein must be thinking of Minkowski spacetime as a medium, and so brings back ether in 1920 when he says, recapitulating, we may say that according to the general theory of relativity, space endowed with physical qualities. In this sense, therefore, there exists an ether. And what he says about ether in the context of general relativity must also be in special relativity. Trouble is, mainstream still fixated on 1905 when the ether was discarded, and so usually stick with that and don't take into account the update that needs to be made. That's a problem with moving goalposts. Move the goalposts too much and you make a mess. Goalposts were moved to get rid of ether in 1905, and when the goalposts need to be moved to bring it back, it confused the mainstream. And this is people moving goalposts, and after a time move them around too much and you don't know where you're supposed to be going with the goalpost anymore. So Einstein's relativity just keeps changing things, moving the goalpost. It has been misunderstood, mistranslated, etc., as pointed out in my other videos. And in the case of ether, moving all the goalposts, mainstream fails to properly understand that it was being brought back again.